Welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am super excited about today's video. We are interviewing a stager, Julie Miller. We're actually sitting in one of her staged projects. So special shout out to Andrea Laws for allowing us to have her listing today at 2305 Moody Court here in Oakville. This home is super stunning. And if you're curious to know a little bit more or see more of this property, feel free to check the link below. But without further ado, let me introduce you to Julie. This month, we are talking about all of the different ways that we can fall back in love with our property. And today, I'm super excited to introduce you to Julie Miller, a stager that I use personally in our business. And I'm really excited to have you here, Julie.
Excited to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah, of course. So, Julie, tell us a little bit about your business. Where can people find you? And how did you get into staging?
Okay, well, it's a long story, but I'll keep it as short as possible. Don't want to bore anyone. I started about 15 years ago, just flipping my own properties and just the love for real estate. I just loved working with my realtor and organizing, staging, getting my homes ready for prep. And then my realtor actually, Phil Wright, got me started and said, you should do this for a living. And it kind of snowballed from there. So fast forward 8 years and I've been doing this for myself. So I love my passion project that's
so
turned
exciting.
Into a great business. Yeah.
Yes. And we are actually in one of your listings that you've staged.
Yes.
So this property is super beautiful. If you're curious to see more of Julie's work, check out the link below. We'll put her website down below where they can see.
It's millwrightproperty.ca.
Amazing.
And Jay will get all my socials because he's really good at all of that. And yeah, I'd love you to check out Moody Court. It's a wonderful listing by Andrea Laws and it's beautiful. So tooting my own horn, but it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's stunning. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. We took it to Instagram and I asked you over on Dyson Realty what questions you had for Julie, and we've got them here. And without further ado, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay. Question number 1. If you could visit one designer's home, who would it be?
It's tough because now with HGTV, there's so many good ones. But realistically, I love who I started watching when reality started. It was Jeffrey Lewis. He's so good. I just love his take and how he deals with people, and no, maybe not the rudeness, but the funny parts, and he drinks at lunch and all the fun things that, real estate involves. So I loved watching him and all of his projects to this day. And I love his bold designs, but they're also effortless and timeless. So,
I love that. And do you find that some of his design and what he's doing influences what you're doing in your listings?
Somewhat. From time to time. Again, he is a much higher scale, multi-million dollars. I obviously do multi-million-dollar homes, but to his extreme, it's a little bit higher end than I do. But yeah. But I love the inspiration he provides and the comedy.
I love that.
Which makes it good. Yeah.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. All right. Question number 2, and this one came from Instagram. If you had to use only 3 colors to stage a home, what would they be and why?
Okay, colors, we'll go with shades if that's okay.
Yeah.
Close. You'll tell obviously by what I'm wearing and where you're looking at. I love white because it's obviously clean, crisp, and looks beautiful in photos. Black because it's bold and statement, and again, looks great in photos, versatile. And then I'm a blue girl. I love blue. It was cheesy, but it's my, my wedding color. I use it a lot. I love a blue couch. I try to get away from it sometimes, but I do. I just love the deep blue, and I think it photographs really well alongside the green and the whites and
I love that.
All the colors I like.
One of my mentors, when I first got licensed, they said paint it white or paint it black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of the general rules. And I love that you use blue as your accent color because it's one of my favorite colors too. It's so calming, so refreshing. So I think it helps with the buyer's experience when they're walking in that.
And it goes with all the seasons too. You can make it wintry, you can make it summery,
totally.
You can pop it, and it doesn't, timestamp your listings as well. That's why we use it. A lot of the times, that's kind of why I gravitate towards blue.
Okay, I love that. All right, question number 3. What common misconceptions do homeowners have about staging, and how do you address them?
Basically, a lot of homeowners just think that they don't need it. Why would I need staging? My home's beautiful. And most homes are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but we do just kind of have to explain to them the process of it. And I find once I explain the process, again, toot my own horn and say, realtors work with me never just once. I've never worked with someone once and done. Yeah. So it works. Staging just works. So if you let it be a trust exercise, let me kind of, make it a hotel experience for people when they're coming through so that they can't tell who's lived there before. No religion, no pets, no anything that would deviate or take away from the bones and the walls and the decor.
I love that. And I think that makes a huge impact when I'm even walking through properties with my buyers. Having appropriate sized furniture with like really beautiful color palettes allows that buyer to kind of picture themselves and picture their furniture. So that totally makes sense that that's kind of important for you.
Very important, yes.
All right. In your experience, how does staging impact the speed of a home sale and its final selling price?
Well, I feel like I'm telling you what you already know, but basically when we do the home stage, we give our realtors and our friends the best photos and the best marketing material possible, whether it's while we're staging or giving a bit of, excitement around the whole project. And it just makes it fresh and clean and gets you more eyes, which lets the realtor do their job and get it done hopefully quick.
Yeah, I love that. And staging is one of those services that I'm like obviously a super passionate diehard for because I think when we're looking at listings on the MLS, we have 30 seconds to make that first impression.
Absolutely.
And quality photos and video, of course, is going to be a big part of that. But what we're actually capturing is super important. So that's why that staging is really, really beneficial. Don't quote me, but I also heard that there is a stat that a staged home on average makes about 20% more than a non-staged home. So by not staging, you're leaving money on the table, really.
Absolutely. And that's one of our features as well, too. Like when people haven't staged and they spend all the money to take the pictures, to do their marketing, and then they're back to me in a couple of months saying, okay, now we're going to stage. So they're redoing it with a cost reduction. So we ideally, that upfront cost, even though it's a bit of a sticker shock, it's definitely worthwhile.
I love
and
that.
Good realtors will tell you that to not waste your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you hire our team, we actually complement 1 free month of staging for your property with Julie and her team. So that's another cost saving for you as well, because that's how much I believe in staging our home and enhancing the appearance.
Absolutely.
All right, next question. So how do you approach staging for different types of properties?
Well, every property is different, as you know, whether it's, every situation, every home, every circumstance, why they're selling. So every property we treat as our own. As cheesy as it is, it's kind of our tagline, because I can walk into a condo and see, who the potential buyer could be, what the realtor is expecting and what the realtor would like to try to get to sell. And then we critique it that way. Whereas if you're trying to do a home office, we'll give you a home office. If you're going for more kid friendly, we do a playroom, which I think we've done.
Yes.
And then it works really well because when there's families that come in, I notice that the kids even play with the toys. So it gives the realtor that opportunity to talk to his potential buyers and just make them fall in love with the space and actually feel themselves in that space.
Yeah.
So again, every home is different and timelines, and there's so many factors that go into the staging process. Most of the time they need it done tomorrow, but sometimes we'll have weeks and weeks of lead time, whereas that's when it comes to like the paint colors and the to-do lists come into play. Yeah.
I loved the kids room that we staged because it actually came in handy when I was hosting an open house. I was chit-chatting with the parents.
Yep, kids are playing.
And the kids were playing with like a fire truck on the stairs.
Absolutely.
It was like a really kind of organic moment. And it gave the parents like a real life example of like what life would look like living in that property.
Absolutely.
So it goes just beyond the appearance. So really
and that
good
was
point.
one thing that I think you weren't expecting either, because
No.
I didn't say I was doing a playroom, but we had 2 extra rooms that you were virtually going to do, which virtual is great, it's fine, but it's the experience when the homeowners are there. So we threw in a little playroom. I have 2 little kids, brought a couple toys, made it fun.
Yeah.
And they loved it. So it works. And it's always an added, we always do a little add-on, just of things like that, because we're there anyways, and we love that. So at no cost to you, of course.
And it definitely helped because we sold that listing in 8 days.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I think that if you haven't seen, check over on my Instagram. I posted actually before and after.
Oh, yeah. You could show that playroom. There you
the
go.
work is
It was
incredible. So
Yeah.
I think the staging was a big part of the success of that listing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, what advice do you have for homeowners on a tight budget who still want to enhance their home's appeal?
Okay, well, I would obviously say get a good realtor, number one. And I always get 3 quotes, or I used to. Now that I have my people, I don't get 3 quotes. But in this game, the real estate game, like do meet with 3, feel it out. You'll get the vibe, you'll get what they're offering, you'll see their history, ask for references, and if they won't give them, that's a big telltale sign. But I mean, if you see people's social media, especially these days, it's who they're working with, it's how, their homeowners have reviewed them, and then you're pretty safe. So again, it's a repeat business game, whether it's staging or real estate. So go with the realtor that you feel the most comfortable with, and that is going to go above and beyond and put the time and effort. And the realtors I work with pretty much all do, like whether it's painting or whether it's a handyman service or whether it's, anything, getting a good stager or taking the time to change a light bulb. You'd be surprised at how many won't, but the ones who will are worth it. Like Jay.
Thank you.
No problem.
I feel like all of those little details make such an impact. And having you as an extension of my team walking through, you also call out things that I don't even notice. So sometimes it's even just your extra expertise that helps enhance that experience for the sellers.
Well, sorry, back to that though. It's funny. Some of my realtors actually take me on their initial call. So before they've even signed them up, saying, this is what we offer. This is what makes us different, because I have all of my own inventory. So there's no, we're renting this, we're waiting on this, we're doing it. It's all in-house for us.
Yeah.
I have a team ready to go at all times, who you've met, all of them. So it does make a difference to just have that arsenal ready for you instead of saying, oh, we have this, we have that. It's like, no, she's right here. She will be here. This is what she does. And if you like her, because essentially I'm the middle person between you and your clients.
Yep.
So when I'm going in, I'm hoping, that they like me as much, because it is like, you're in their home, you're almost like intruding in their personal space, but we try to make them feel as comfortable as possible and making them realize like we're making it like a hotel. It's not your home anymore, whether you've bought or you're buying. Let's just try to take away any kind of nostalgia.
Yeah. And I would say that that's probably one of your like superpowers. We walked through that condo in Guelph with the seller, and you needed to softly, I mean, it was tenanted, but you needed to softly give advice about decluttering and changing arrangement. And that could be pretty sensitive. So having someone who has a little bit of that emotional intelligence is really important as well.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next question. Can you share some DIY staging tips for viewers who may want to try staging on their own? Now, we don't recommend it. However, what would you recommend for someone who wanted to do it on their own?
Well, nowadays, obviously, DIY is huge. So whether it's, painting a piece of clay or buying something from the dollar store, and I'm all about trying that and changing it and doing whatever. But as far as staging and what looks good in photos, trust the experts. No, I'm just kidding. No. But I actually don't do a lot myself other than giving my homeowners a checklist and saying, this is what we do to prepare. However, Chelsea Greening, who we met through, I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. She owns Inner Balance Staging, which again, I'm sure you can link.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. She has tricks, tips. Her social media is just to die for. So she's constantly, whether it's a dresser or this or that, she's always doing something. And she actually, I believe, still does virtual interact. So you'd send her the room measurements and she would tell you exactly where you're putting the desk, where you're putting the sofa. Okay. I'm more of a still in-person person, but she is phenomenal. So if you can link her, that would be great.
Check out her Instagram down below. Some really great content. And that is how we got connected.
That is, because she was moving and she said, Julie's great. And we had worked together and our friends know each other and the whole bit. And so she's been a wonderful resource. And I always look to her for advice when it comes to, new colors and DIY stuff.
I love that. Amazing. All right. Jumping into the next question. How do you balance incorporating current design trends with creating a timeless and a universal appealing look? So I guess that balance to kind of keep your inventory up to date, that it's like on trend, but you're also aware of just kind of those timeless kind of moments. Yeah. How do you balance that?
Yeah, I think I gravitate towards, again, the 3 colors, shades that I do, and plus gray, like what you're sitting on right now. I always kind of stick with something forever, like that will be good. So I do a lot of those. Like you won't see me with a red couch because you won't. Blue is okay. Red, no. But I mean something that I can always change up. So grays are easy, right? And it's constant. Whatever the trend is, whether it's plaids or whether it's burnt orange or this, that, and the other, we can always add that to gray, blues. You'd be surprised at all the things we can do with those neutral base and update it that way.
Yeah, I feel like it's like how I dress, right? I like start with my neutrals and then like I throw a piece of like color just kind of throughout. So it's kind of like dressing.
It is.
Next question. What are the key differences between staging for selling and decorating for personal use?
Okay, well, staging for selling is obviously keeping it generic. I think I mentioned like a hotel vibe. So you walk in and you don't know who lives there or who has been there before you, or, you just want to be there, whether it's a comfy bed or a cozy seat or whatever it is. And I joke with my homeowners, it's boring. Like, it's not what I would do in my home. It's not what you do. We have kids, we have life, we have stuff. But when we stage, we declutter, depersonalize, de-pet, de-religion, like, I could go down a list. It's so boring, and I apologize. But what we're doing is letting them see the walls, letting them see the sheer space and the beauty of it, and not distracting potential homeowner buyers, to the space. So just showing, the craftsmanship of everything and the beauty of it. Whereas designing, that's where it's fun. So I actually work with a lot of my homeowners after the fact.
Okay.
So they like what we've done staging, but they want to incorporate it into their new home. So that's where staging and design came in. So I do work with a lot of people after the fact saying, I want something like that. However, I want more. So I want more red or more green or more whatever. And that's when we get like into the bold, fun. And that's kind of the main difference. Staging, neutral, boring. Homeowning, like, again, you want to do like a feature gallery wall of your family photos and your dog.
Okay,
do it because you're the one who has to love it.
Yeah.
And with my design clients, I take them shopping because I can't pick a piece of art that you will love. I can pick a piece of art that might look okay in a picture. That's it. But as far as what you have to look at every day, that's the fun of designing your own house and decorating your own house. So
I love that.
Mm-hmm. But still, I would keep it neutral because
Yeah.
then you could keep changing it, so you never get bored. Like I do have a few painted walls in my home that I love, classic colors. However, I keep it pretty neutral so that I could switch it up because I get bored.
Yeah, that's actually the strategy I use in my personal home.
Yeah.
Is we have this like deep forest green.
Yes,
and that's
love
the
it.
color that we tie throughout our house, and then we just change the accent colors based off
Everything.
of the season.
And you can literally do anything with that, right? That's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What is a trend you are welcoming in 2024, and what is a trend that you are happy to say goodbye to?
Welcoming. Okay, so it's funny, actually, in this house, I'm sure you'll show the shot of the front room.
Yeah.
Mixed metals is a big thing. And I'm welcoming it, trying to welcome it, because I'm kind of traditional when it comes to some things, but I'm trying to let it go. And I know that mixed metals and textures and just not being afraid of, putting the gold, silver, black, bronze, everything can go together, which is, I actually have Avril McCormick who works with me, who you've met.
Yes.
And she's amazing. And we actually went over like, okay, so how do I mix these metals? And she's just like, go with it. It'll work. And it's back to the trust exercise. You got to try it and it'll work. But it is like that, just that walk away from it, look back and be like, okay, it's going to be good. Whether it's in a photo or in your own home. Like I've been trying slowly to do it in my own home.
I love that wood metal because I think it for me, it blends like natural wood with something that's been like hand manipulated. So that blend is really beautiful.
It is.
A trend that I'm super excited for 2024 is like blonde pale floors.
Ooh, they're back.
Just like in this listing, wide plank wooden floors that are like a blonde.
Yep. Yeah, they're so nice.
So
good.
good.
These are gorgeous.
So good.
So good.
All right. So that's what we're saying hello to. What are we saying goodbye to?
So I don't want to insult anyone, though, by saying what you should say bye to. No.
Personal opinion.
Personal opinion is just the overdone, the whole house having to be the exact same feel. So if you're doing a farmhouse, you don't need like to churn butter and to like make, you know what I mean? Like it can be a little farm, but incorporate different vibes and different rooms and different styles. It doesn't all have to be shiplap or whatever you like. Great, but just less.
Okay.
And maybe switch it up and try a different style. Like, I always joke, I love gold. My husband hates gold, but I'm like, ooh, our next house is getting some gold, right? Like, so just try it and you will survive.
Okay, I love that.
And if you hate it, try it with accents so that you're not committing. Like, you're not doing all your knobs and then you're like, I'm not spending another $2,000 to change it. Just do small little touches of things.
Yeah. So you kind of hinted towards like what I'm excited to say goodbye to, shiplap. And before you like come for me in the comments below,
it can be done nicely,
I really liked it.
Yes.
I almost literally did like an accent wall in my house with like full shiplap. But it just felt like it was starting to become like overplayed. So I'm excited for that to start its cycle again and just kind of like be forgotten.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to send you one of the listings that I did this week with a beautiful shiplap, well done, and we worked with it, and it was beautiful. But it was one wall, one accent wall, and it was not over like white or it was like a beautiful soft taupe. So I'll send you that one.
Yes,
and you can
please.
link that listing too. It should be up this week. So. Yeah.
Amazing. That's so good. Okay, so my last question, it's off of, I didn't give you a heads up on this question.
Okay.
If you were to give Julie advice 15 years ago when you started your staging business and you started this kind of profession, what would be the advice that you give to yourself?
Get out of your own head and just do it. And don't worry about, like I was saying, just try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work and you'll move on. But it was really like, so I had kids, I was telling you, like, so I finished university, started watching the Jeff Lewis and all the design, and I always loved it. And I always did it in my own home. I flipped maybe 15 properties with my husband. We had condos and listings, and it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff for ourselves, and then rentals, and it was great. And that was always my passion. But to do it for someone else, I was like, no, I can't possibly, right? And then it was just taking that leap and just doing it. So if I would have started 15 years ago, I would have been, ahead of the game, but I'm really comfortable and happy with how it is now. So
amazing.
I
love that.
Do it. Jump in.
Yes. I feel like that can go for so many different careers and different things that sometimes you just got to get over yourself and just jump in and do it, right?
And finding your path too, because I wouldn't ever have said, oh, you can stage, you can design, you can go in and tell someone, rip their house apart, right? And I'm like, no, you can't do that. But I was in sales for years, and then I did operations for years, and then I had kids and took a beat, and I was like, now what? Like corporate? No, because I have 14 hours in Toronto working events. No.
Yeah.
So this job has given me, the resources of being able to talk to people again and being an adult and having a career and working with people I love. Like I have a great team who work with me, and they're amazing, and it's just a wonderful work environment, and I love it. My kids love seeing me work, and it's fun and creative.
Yeah. Your team is phenomenal. They are so hardworking.
Yeah.
They change lights. You can clean, you paint.
Yep.
You do so much more than just staging.
Yep.
And I just love your full service because it just complements the service that I can provide my clients, which is really exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah,
We
of
appreciate
course.
you using us. And obviously our team is amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing. One thing that I ask all guests that we bring on is to provide a free tool, a gift, something of value to help you navigate the real estate market. And Julie, what are you giving to the viewers?
Well, as I mentioned, I give my homeowners a checklist of what they should do, but it's very customized to each home. I'm going to come up with a 10-point generic list of the best colors, the best, tips and tricks of what I would recommend before you list your home, before anything.
Amazing. If you are curious to get your hands on a pre-listing checklist made by Julie and her team, check out the link below and we will send that to you instantly. It's a really kind of imperative tool to just even get you set up with what's coming in that listing process. So I love this tool.
Yeah.
Julie, where can we find you? Where website, Instagram?
Well,
tell us where we can find you.
We have talked about this a lot. Jay is helping me along the social media world. I am useless at it. But I'm millwrightproperty.ca and then at Millwright Property, at Julie Miller, or, again, you're going to link it all. I'm so sorry to your viewers because I am still of the era of call me. 416-824-4336, and I'm just more of a phone person. I know it's not for everybody, but and I like to meet people in person, and it's really hard for me to gauge because people will call me and say, okay, I have 1,200 square foot. I'm like, well, what does that mean? You have to see the space, and then what does your realtor want to do, an office, or, it all depends. I have to see the listings, whether it's virtually or pictures or whatever, but just to give a base.
Your phone's going to start ringing off the hook.
I'm
get
ready for it. It's a market, right? We're busy already, but I am happy. And again, we have a team behind us, so we're very capable.
Thank you so much for spending time with us. We love putting these videos together, sharing expertise from other real estate professionals so that you can navigate the real estate market. If you liked this video and you want to see more, please subscribe and like below, and I will see you next week.